Gerard Rennick wasn't your typical politician. He didn't pander to journalists, he didn't schmooze donors, and he didn't exactly toe the party line. What he did do loudly, relentlessly, was kind of this raw, unfathomable truth that makes political operatives nervous and Canberra bubbles well as fucking squirm. He didn't arrive in the Senate to climb some greasy fucking factional pole. He came in there to tell some truths. And while others played it safe, Rennick threw grenades against lockdowns, against vaccine mandates, against the Reserve Bank's economic fucking vandalism, against the net zero lunacy, and against mindless, centralised administration that was gutting Australia.
How dare the government take 10% of people's income without ever asking them and forcing them to give it to someone they've never met? Now, why can't we do what New Zealand did? New Zealand had a referendum on whether or not superannuation should be compulsory, and you know what they voted? They voted against it 92% to 8.
He was never fully comfortable with just handing power to unelected bureaucrats in designer suits. And sure, he wasn't always polished, but he was fucking clear and he was articulate and he was popular with the people, especially the people who felt ignored by both major parties, especially in Queensland, where bluntness is a virtue and bullshit detectors are finely tuned.
Absolute, utter disgrace.
While the rest of the LNP morphed into a discount version of the fucking teal movement with all the climate buzzwords and focus groups, Rennick built something that was rare in today's politicians: trust.
People don't want to hear about, fancy woke ideas. They want to know how you're going to pay, implement solutions that are actually going to solve their cost of living crisis, because there are people going broke in this country. There are people that are having to sell their houses. They're either having to move back home with mum or dad, or they're actually ending up on the streets in tents.
Not with the media elites or the lobbyists, but with actual working families, small business owners, farmers, and, well, basically freedom lovers who saw in him something dangerously rare in modern politics: conviction. That made him a threat, not to Labor, not to the Greens, but to his own party. In politics, telling the truth isn't a virtue, it's a liability. And Gerard was always going to be a liability for the Liberal Party of Australia. The McGrath faction in Queensland is one of the strongest left-leaning factions in the Liberal Party, the Liberal National Party of Queensland, and they had it in for Gerard. It happened quietly, and then it was all at once. At the 2023 LNP State Convention in Brisbane, a room full of delegates, proxy votes and polished factional insiders pretending to represent the grassroots while doing everything in their power to silence it, Gerard Rennick walked into that room as a sitting senator, a nationally known figure, the loudest voice in the party on medical mandates, the Reserve Bank, climate alarmism, and the bureaucratic rot that's been hollowing out Australia. But Rennick had one fatal flaw. He told the truth, not the poll-tested truth, but the actual truth. And in modern politics, that's career suicide. He wasn't controllable. He didn't suck up to lobbyists. He didn't kiss the ring of factional bosses. And he wasn't afraid to call bullshit even if the bullshit came from his own side. So the machine got to work. And enter Stuart Fraser, the perfect company man. LNP State Treasurer, executive member of Brisbane's Tattersalls Club. Fraser didn't have anywhere near Rennick's profile, his following or his courage, but he had something far more valuable to the party machine: obedience.
Senator Gerard Rennick has told Sky News that he doesn't believe his controversial stance on vaccine mandates contributed to his loss at Senate pre-selection. He failed to secure the support of his own party for a spot on the LNP upper house ticket at the State Council in Brisbane.
Despite selling himself as the LNP's best chance of winning a third seat in the Senate, Gerard Rennick's political future has been dashed by his own party. How are you feeling?
No, fine.
Are you upset or disappointed?
No, look, pretty relaxed.
The controversial Liberal senator has been kicked off the LNP Senate ticket, meaning he won't be given the opportunity to run for another term in the upper house. Former LNP Treasurer Stuart Fraser will replace him in the third of 6 spots on the ticket.
I think it's always surprising when people give that amount of confidence in you and support, so definitely surprised.
Gerard Rennick has been highly controversial since being elected to the Senate in 2019. He ran a voting blockade against the Morrison government over vaccine mandates during the pandemic.
Do you think your stance on vaccine mandates may have had a role in your loss?
No, I think that what I did was show compassion to people. My role is to serve the people, and I don't apologise for that.
Coming up in part 2, what happened with the court case and the subsequent convention the following year.